Hello everyone and welcome to Loddon Valley as the Aldermore Reading Rockets will take on the Sheffield Steelers for the second time this season here in BWB Premier Division action. Hello everyone, John Hobbs on hand for this exciting game here today. The Sheffield Steelers unbeaten 6-0, 7-0 now. They defeated Aces yesterday down south, and now they are here looking to extend their winning run for the Reading Rockets, currently without a win in 5. Looking to make a big splash to end 2025. As the two teams will head to the court in just a second, starting fives for the two teams. Tom Tobin, Daniel May, Reese Barker, Todd Travers and Daniel Smith will start it out for the Reading Rockets, who are without Tom Elliott-Smith in this contest. For the Sheffield Steelers, Tom Harvey, Matt Travers, Jessica White, Will Bonner and Lee Fryer are the starting fives for the Steelers. They are without George Bates in this contest today. George Bates, who had 28 points, 10 boards back in November here against the Reading Rockets. Two officials for today's game, David Kingston and Grace Jacker. And we are set as Reese Barker and Lee Fryer will get this game underway. And a welcome return to Loddon Valley, who had to close the main hall for a couple of weeks due to fixing of the ceiling, and now we are back here and underway in this contest, and the Reading Rockets get the first possession underway, and Sheffield get the turnover straight away, and Lee Fryer in transition gets the first score of the game. Lee Fryer, who had 21 points and 14 assists against the Rockets back in November. Of course, this is the second time these two teams are playing here at this very venue. Barker under the basket, can't hang on, and the ball will go out of bounds. Sheffield will get the possession back. In the crowd in this game today, former Reading Rocket and current Getafe player Liam Barker, who is watching on. Here is Fryer. Fryer gliding his way to the basket and shoots it over May and puts it in. So Lee Fryer with 2 quick points. And the Steelers out to a 4-0 start. Tobin. Here is Smith. Of course, this is a drastically changed Reading team to the one that played last season. Reese Barker, one of the few survivors from last season's team, gets another bite of the cherry, doesn't get that to fall. Tobin and White were fighting for it, and it'll stay a Reading possession. Of course, big welcome to everyone watching on the Reading Rockets YouTube channel here. BWB Premier Division action in the heart of Berkshire. Here is Tobin. 8 to shoot. Tobin, a good mid-range shooter, but misses everything on that occasion. And now the Steelers can break with Tom Harvey. Harvey at the top, Tobin for company. Again, Sheffield using the glass to great effect as Matt Travers, who was perfect last time out here at Loddon Valley, 7 for 7 from the field, gets his first field goal. And a foul called at the top. And the foul has been called on Will Bonner. That'll be his first foul. Of course, Reading without Tom Elliott-Smith and Sam Hill for this contest. Here is Tobin. Shot clock winding down for the Rockets. Another turnover, though. 3 quick turnovers in less than 3 minutes for the Rockets. Here is Fryer. Goes to the elbow. Lovely dump-off pass. And the finish inside from Bonner. And the Steelers out to an 8-0 run to start. Tobin. Tobin still has it, but at mid-court with the shot clock now in single figures. Dangerous territory for the Rockets, who need to get an offense going and quick. Shot clock at 4. Barker's going to have to heave this. Throws it up, smacks the backboard. Good perimeter defense and good mid-court defense from the Steelers, not allowing Reading to get any sort of pass off. Patient defensive intensity there from the Steelers, and they will get the ball back. And already 4 turnovers for the Rockets. Here is Fryer. Fryer just goes it and scores. And Sheffield are feeling it right now. They've made their first 5 field goal attempts. Now Reading looking to get off the mark, but that shot from Travers no good. Daniel Smith can't connect, and now Fryer brings it up. Here is Harvey. Looking for Bonner, but Tobin tracked back well. Ball goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Steelers. And 14 on the shot clock. A lot of time to get an offense going. And the pass there from Harvey. Maybe getting a little too fancy with it. Intended for Fryer. Goes right to the Sheffield Steelers bench. So Reading will get the ball back. Here is Daniel Smith. Reese Barker. Barker, lovely pass inside. Todd Travers inside, gets the finish, and that's the first field goal for the Rockets. A much needed score after 4 minutes without a field goal. Harvey finds Fryer. Shot clock in single figures. Fryer again. An offensive machine is Lee Fryer. He's done it all season long. He has 8 on 4 of 4 shooting. The Steelers yet to miss from the field. Tobin, 9 to shoot. Stolen away by Fryer, and now Fryer all alone in transition, all the time in the world, banks it home. And Grant Barker has seen enough. He's called a timeout with 5:13 to play, and the Steelers rampant right now, out to a 14-2 lead. Currently 7-0 in the BWB Premier Division. The Sheffield Steelers had a narrow win against Manchester. They then followed that up last night with a victory over the Aces, 76-36. They've been utterly dominant thus far this season, whereas the Rockets, a drastically changed team, but a lot of eager players looking to make a name for themselves in the Premier Division, but finding the going a little tough. But they have competed this season, but 0-5 at the moment. They had a very solid first season last season in the Premier Division. Of course, it was this time last year they played their very first home game in the Premier Division, the Reading Rockets playing the London Titans. Maddie Martin was the player who scored the first field goal at home for the Rockets in the Premier Division. She's on the bench at the moment. Here is Smith. Finds Barker. Barker looking for that mid-range and is short. Harvey collects the loose change. Harvey gets past Todd Travers. Lobs it to Fryer on the other side. Shot clock at 7. Fryer has a little gap and exploits it, doesn't get it to fall. And at the second attempt, gets it. First field goal miss of the contest. But the offensive rebound and the putback was pure from Fryer. And that was nearly a backcourt violation, but it doesn't matter. Reese Barker gets it to go for his first field goal. That miss from Fryer at the other end was Sheffield's first miss of the game in 8 field goal attempts. They'd made their first 8 shots of this contest. Harvey. Bonner. Bonner is fouled by Barker. Barker believes he got all ball. Of course, it's a double-header of action here today at Loddon Valley. Of course, following on from this game, if you head over to the BCB, British Championship Basketball YouTube channel, the Reading Rockets, the Aldermore Reading Rockets will take on the Bristol Hurricanes in the final game of 2025. A significant game as well. It's the retirement party, if you will, of the great Lewis champion, who retired earlier in the month. And the finish there from Smith. Daniel Smith, who had 11 points, 5 boards off the bench against the Steelers back in November, gets his account going. Here's Harvey behind the back pass. And the finish from Matt Travers, who had 14 points, as said earlier. And that's his second field goal. Reese Barker on the ball. 3:15 to play in the first. Todd Travers couldn't get the full. Jess White with the rebound. Bonner to Harvey. Harvey, who can shoot them from distance, goes a little closer, back irons the 2. Rebounded by Bonner, who resets. Fryer inside, finishes short there from Travers. And on the follow again was Fryer. Fryer has 14 points here in this first period. Chuck in 2 rebounds for good measure. Lovely pass from Tobin, and Todd Travers will finish. Great find from Tom Tobin. Harvey. Fryer. Fryer looking to shoot from the elbow, instead passes it off. Bonner. And just before he put his shot up, he was called for the 3-second violation. As Jess White comes out of the game, Kamari Parker checks in for his first action today. The Sheffield number 25. And also into the game for the Rockets, Ben Trigler-Polton on the ball, and here is Travers. And Travers is fouled. And that is on Tom Harvey. That'll be his first foul. 2:09 to play in the first period. Steelers out to a 20-8 lead here at Loddon Valley. Here is Tobin. Trigler-Polton, excuse me. Tobin. Back to Trigler-Polton. Lovely pass, but the finish lacking. There's a good bit of ball movement there from Ben Trigler-Polton, but couldn't get that to fall. Fryer, lovely pass to Harvey, direct, and Tom Harvey will head to the stripe. Chance for the youngster to get his first points of the game. Currently just the 1 field goal attempt for Tom Harvey, that long 2 just a minute ago. He has 3 assists to his name. Steelers have only missed 3 field goal attempts thus far in this first quarter. And this is their 3rd and 4th trip to the line, currently now 0 of 3. And Harvey splits the free throws. But a very commanding lead thus far for the visiting Sheffield Steelers. Reese Barker has it. Barker, direct pass to Tobin, who did so well to collect that and finish. Almost with the back to the ball there, but he caught it somehow and got the finish. Here is Fryer. Looks for Bonner, who sets himself, doesn't get the fall, the extra pass and the finish inside from Matt Travers. Final minute of this first quarter, a very good first quarter for the Steelers, who are without George Bates today. He didn't play in the game yesterday against the Aces either. Smith to Tobin. Tobin, beautiful pass. And the finish from Reese Barker. Beautiful cut along the baseline there from Reese Barker, and the finish was completely unmarked. Fryer splashes a 3. Lee Fryer in the game against Manchester a couple of weeks ago was 3 of 8 from downtown in the 84-82 win. Gets his first one today. And another finish inside. This time, it's Todd Travers with his 2nd field goal. Reading having great success cutting to the basket and finding close to the hoop shots. Fryer, final seconds of the first. He'll go inside to Bonner. Good defense from Tobin. And that'll do it for the first quarter of play. Tom Harvey's shot will not count. It was way after the buzzer. But a good finish to the first period for Reading. They were trailing 8-0 at the start. In fact, 10-0 at the start. And were trailing big until the final 2 minutes, and then they came alive. But they still trail by 12 going into quarter number 2. Lee Fryer with 17 points and 4 rebounds, leading the way for the Steelers. Has a couple of triple-doubles this season, does Lee Fryer, most notably in their game against Manchester when he had 25 points, 14 boards and 13 assists. The Great Britain international leads the way with 17. And Todd Travers leads the way for the Rockets. He has 6 points on 3 of 5 shooting. Of course, Todd, one of the graduates, could you say, from the Reading Rockets' 2nd team, led by Steph Johnson, who is on the bench today for the Reading Rockets, and really excelling in the first team this season. Todd Travers, of course, now getting some extra burn in this new-look Rockets roster. There is Reese Barker just giving some instructions to his team. They're still in it. 26-14 going into this quarter number 2. And it's the final game of 2025, and there's a few Christmas jumpers, few Christmas hats, most notably on the bench as well of the Reading Rockets. Grant Barker looking on as we start the second period, and here is Fryer. There's a little bit of a gap inside there, but Smith blocked his path, but Fryer goes for the mid-range and buries it. And Lee Fryer having an absolutely barnstorming game, as you would expect. And Tom Tobin had to be careful there, almost wound it up as a backcourt violation. Sheffield will play on. Here is Harvey, who banks it home. Ben Trigger-Polton is on the deck. Of course, Ben Trigger-Polton last season with the London Titans, had a couple of seasons there in the capital. Smith was the trailer there. Tobin decided not to use him. Here is Smith. Goes for the baseline shot and hits it. (30-16), 14-point game. Early doors in the second. Fryer to Harvey. Two Great Britain internationals linking up. Senior and under 23. Here is Fryer. 6 to shoot. Fryer connects. A lot of the offense, as you would expect, going through Lee Fryer, and it's working wonders thus far. 32-16. And Reece Barker just gets that off to Tom Tobin. Ben Trigger-Polton inside the layup. His first field goal of the contest. 1 of 2 from the field for Ben Trigger-Polton. Fryer. Harvey. Lovely direct pass. Bonner, I think, was fouled. And it will be a Sheffield ball. Grace Jacker, one of our officials, in good position as Bradley Thompson checks in for the first time today, the number 77 for Sheffield, and taking a breather is Will Bonner. Here is Thompson. Dumps it off to Harvey. Fryer. Fryer fading away again. Everything he touches turns to gold right now. Barker. Marked by Thompson. Bounce pass to Smith. The extra pass. Tobin inside. Great patience. And Tom Tobin, another field goal for him. Second field goal. He has 4. Fryer going along the baseline, and he'll go to the line for 2. Did so well to get past Daniel Smith. And Lee Fryer will head to the strike. Of course, Lee Fryer, part of the Great Britain team that captured silver in Sarajevo at the IWBF European Championships back in October, and has been in blistering form this season for the Steelers. An offensive juggernaut of this team, and certainly a key component of their 7-0 run. And we have a rarity in basketball, whether it be wheelchair or able-bodied, and it even gets a handshake from teammate Tom Harvey. That's certainly one for the highlight reel. And a miss from Tobin. Oh dear. Oh dear. Come on, Tom, there you go. And he gets a 2 for 1 as well. It's not often that the ball gets wedgied like that. Wonder if the BWB social team are watching that. Play continues. As Reece Barker will go to the stripe. as Reese Barker misses the first. Had a double-double in Reading's last game against Manchester. 19 points, 11 boards. As he splits the free throws. The player that mainly came off the bench in the first season of the Reading Rockets wheelchair basketball team back in Division 1 when they won all their games and won the Division 1 title to get promotion to the Premier Division. Had a bit more of a role last season alongside Tom Elliott-Smith as Fryer over Trigger-Polton. Lee Fryer right now, 12 of 13 from the field. 25 points in 12 minutes of playing time and a turnover as Tobin's pass goes right to Lee Fryer, and now it's 3-on-2. Harvey inside. Good defense though from Smith. And Trigger-Polton will be helped up on the other side of the court. 6:26 to play here in the second period. Barker. Barker still has it. Plenty of time on the shot clock for the Rockets. Inside Tobin. Goes to the glass. Too strong. Good defense from the Steelers, primarily from Harvey. Fryer as Bradley Thompson inside. He can't get his shot to go. Travers on the follow. He'll go to the line. As Daniel Smith looks on, and a timeout has been called on the floor. Grant Barker has called it as the Aldermore Reading Rockets trail 36-21 with 5:54 to play in the second period. Of course, this is the final home game here in Reading for 2025. And the next time the Reading Rockets play at home will be on February the 8th when they take on the London Titans. Provided, of course, there are no fixture changes. Next time the Rockets are in action is away from home. They will take on the Manchester Revolution at the National Basketball Performance Centre in Bellevue. Of course, all teams play each other twice at home, twice away. And Maddie Martin into the game for the first time. Like Lee Fryer, another silver medalist at the IWBF European Championships. In fact, both Martin and Fryer just exchanging a few words as Matt Travers hits the first. And he misses the second. Thompson in a good position to get the offensive board and the finish off the glass. First field goal for Thompson in this contest. Tobin. Reese Barker just about, no, he didn't hang on in the end. He was trying to stay in, but he just went out as Matt Wilson comes in for the first time for the Steelers. And coming out is Matt Travers. Here is Harvey. Ducks past Barker. Wilson to Thompson at the elbow. And the ball is loose. Wilson and Barker fighting for it, and a whistle has gone just before Reading could break in transition. Trigger-Polton on it. Beyond halfway here in this second period, as Barker did well to collect, but clangs the two. Tobin with the steal, as Matt Wilson caught, and the finish from 6 feet, as Daniel Smith gets it to go. Fryer. Plenty of time on the shot clock for the Steelers. Wilson at the foul line. This is everything. Well, the Steelers have maintained their double-digit advantage. Reading have had some strong spells, but yet to really make a dent in this Steelers lead. They will look to do it to end the second period. Trigger-Polton at the foul line. It's a risky pass, and Thompson says thank you very much, and now the Steelers can break. It's 2-on-1. Harvey inside, Harvey the finish. (41-23), an 18-point lead for the Steelers. Another turnover. Thompson with 2 steals in back-to-back possessions, but before the Steelers could break out in the transition, a whistle had gone. .3:55 to play here in the second quarter. It's a very festive day here, of course, a couple of days until Christmas. Even our production crew here at Loddon Valley rocking the Christmas jumpers and the Christmas hats. Harvey a 3, no. Barker rebounds. Barker and Harvey colliding. Barker still has it. Did well to keep the ball there. Tobin, 6 to shoot. As Smith off left with his 2. Here is Harvey. Fryer goes for the mid-range and gets the friendly roll. And this is Sheffield's biggest lead of the contest at 20 points. And Fryer has 27 of those 43. Barker. Reading looking for a quick response. Trigger-Polton with the offensive board. Another steal from Thompson. And the outlet, Lee Fryer. That's asking a bit too much of Lee Fryer. It was a good idea from Bradley Thompson. 3 steals in this second period for the Steelers, 77. Tobin. Barker. Reading need to just get into a bit of a groove here to end the second period. Couple of baskets will do that. That shot no good from Smith. Rebounded by Harvey. Here is Fryer. Underhand pass from Fryer to Harvey. The one-hand floater. And Sheffield turning on the pizzazz as a timeout is called with 2:25 to play in the half. And the Steelers out to a 22-point advantage. And seemingly cruising, but Reading, they have a lot of fight in them. They will not go quietly. They will compete. course, as we said, former Reading Rocket and current Getafe player Liam Barker here today, watching on. Of course, the Barker family welcomed a new addition to their family, a lovely little puppy for Christmas, which was lovely to see, splattered all over Liam Barker's social media feed. Also as well, it is Daniel May's birthday today as well, the number 11 for Reading. And he will come onto the floor, having a chat there with Rhys Barker. You can see there is Grant Barker, the head coach. Daniel May, one of the newcomers to the first team this season. And certainly adjusted well to life in the Premier Division for the Rockets. Here is Tobin on the ball. Barker on the catch and shoot money. And Reading need a few of them and a couple of stops in the final 2 minutes of the second quarter, and that'll be a turnover for the Steelers. Their 5th turnover of the contest. Jade Loughlin into the game as well. One of the veterans of the Women's Premier League that will get underway in the new year. Maddie Martin blocked by Harvey. Firm rejection from Tom Harvey. In fact, the whistle had gone. I think a foul has been called actually on Tom Harvey. Well, we are way up here on the balcony, so you know David Kingston, our official, certainly in a better position than I am. But Maddie Martin will go to the stripe. Maddie Martin, Great Britain international and a Paralympian, gets her first. And that puts a smile on Liam Barker's face. Of course, Maddie Martin and Liam Barker, childhood friends and teammates throughout their careers. Maddie Martin actually just coming back from Spain. She was catching up with Liam's antics in Spain with Getafe as Fryer misses the 3. Goes out of bounds. It will stay with Sheffield with 1:36 to play in the half. Fryer, Harvey, beautiful pass to Thompson, who did well to collect and finish. Under so much pressure there from Tom Tobin. But cool, calm and collected Bradley Thompson gets it to fall. He has 4 points. And he had a hand in that turnover as well. But asking too much of Thompson there as the ball goes out of bounds and Reading will reclaim it. There he is, Bradley Thompson. 3 steals as well in this second quarter as Barker's shot no good. Rebounded Harvey. That's 4 rebounds for him to go with 6 assists and 7 points. Here is Fryer. Back to Thompson again. Thompson too strong and Barker rips the rebound out of Tom Harvey's hands. Loughlin. And an 8-second violation called against the Rockets with 46 seconds to play here in the half. Fryer, Harvey. Fryer in acres of space. May comes to meet, short with the 2. Only Fryer's 3rd miss from the field in 16 field goal attempts. Martin. Here is the birthday boy May to Tobin. Tobin can shoot them from there, but that's off the back iron. Shot clock is now off, so Sheffield can hold it for the final possession, but they get it turned over. And Barker the finish. bit of luck there from the Rockets, but they'll take it. Final seconds of the half. The pass is way too strong from Fryer. And Reading have 4.4 seconds to play with here. May. And May's not even going to go for the shot. In fact, the ball goes out of bounds as Harvey batted it away from May with 7/10 of a second left in the half. And Tobin will collect, and he will try it. It had the right trajectory, just not the power. And that'll do it for half-time here at Loddon Valley, and it's all Sheffield Steelers, but Reading have had some great spurts of action. They've gone inside for a lot of their points. 22 of their 28 points have come in the paint, so they found great success under the basket, but Sheffield thus far with more depth, and obviously with Lee Fryer in your team, you're always going to get that offensive spark, and right now Fryer has 27 points, and the Sheffield Steelers lead 47-28, leading the way for the Reading Rockets, Reece Barker, who has 11. But Reading with it all to do at halftime. They trail 47-28, and we'll be back for the third quarter shortly. Well, welcome back to Loddon Valley, where the Sheffield Steelers lead the Aldermore Reading Rockets 47-28 going into the third period. Reece Barker with 11 points leading the way for the Rockets. Todd Travers with 6 points, all of those points coming in the first period. Whereas for the Steelers, Lee Fryer 13 of 16 from the field. He's played all 20 minutes for 27 points, 5 rebounds. There's Reece Barker there in your picture, 11 points leading the way for the Rockets, but they trail by 47 points to 28 going into this third period. On a double game day here at Loddon Valley. Following on from this game, switch over to the British Championship Basketball YouTube channel, and you will have the Aldermore Reading Rockets taking on the Bristol Hurricanes in the final game of 2025, and the final swan song for Lewis Champion, who announced his immediate retirement earlier in the month. So the third quarter will begin. Here is Fryer on the ball, who's nearly outscored the Rockets all on his own. Here is Harvey. Harvey to Thompson. Thompson connects. He had a fantastic second period and hasn't started slowing down yet. Thompson has 6. Tobin to Barker. Barker doesn't get it to fall. In a great position there with Smith. Can't get that to fall though. Reading have not scored on second chance opportunities in this contest. Fryer composed but short with the 2. Barker has it. Tobin looking to cut back door, but had his path blocked from Kamari Parker, as Kamari Parker, I think, fouled Reece Barker on the shot there. Yes, he did. So that'll send Reece Barker to the stripe. First foul of the day on Kamari Parker. Reading shooting a fairly respectable 45% from the field in the first 2 quarters, but when you go up against a team shooting 62%, it's always going to be difficult, especially as they've taken 6 more field goal attempts than you have, as Barker misses the first. Barker splits the foul shots. Harvey. Fryer. Harvey off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Barker. Reece Barker with his 7th rebound of this contest, flirting with a double-double. Goes it alone. Doesn't get it to fall. Smith there on the follow and a foul. Right place, right time for Daniel Smith, who started today's game. He started on the bench when these two teams last played. Performed incredibly well with 11 points, 5 boards, and now a chance for him to go to the stripe. He now moves on to 6. Chuck in 3 rebounds for good measure for Agent 77 as he makes the resulting 3-point play, a much needed 3-point play for the Rockets. Fryer. Wilson. Harvey. Good passing here from the Steelers, and the finish from Parker. Such patient build-up play from the Sheffield Steelers, and a beautiful finish Great pass inside from Smith. Barker too much English on it. Ball goes out of bounds. I think that stays with Reading. Tom Tobin, Reece Barker, Daniel Smith, Todd Travers and Maddie Martin on the floor for the Oldham Wall Reading Rockets here in this third period. Barker looking to cut. Instead, on the trailer was Tobin, and he can't get that to fall. Fryer almost anticipated that he was going to get fouled and put up a shot. But he will not get trips to the line. Foul on Reece Barker. That'll be his second foul. And it is imperative for the Rockets that Reece Barker stays out of foul trouble in this contest. He did foul out the last time these two teams met. Fryer just about hangs on. 10 to shoot. Harvey a three. And that's long, rebounded by Smith. That's Daniel Smith's fifth rebound of this contest, heavily marked by Harvey. Barker stripped away from Harvey. Parker, Thompson, composed, puts it in. And Tobin nearly got it stripped off him by Harvey, but Harvey a little too enthusiastic, called for the foul. That's Sheffield's third team foul in this third period, so they've got to be careful here, creeping up to team fouls. Second foul on Harvey. Tobin looking for Barker, finds Barker. Barker had it partially deflected by Thompson. So Reading will keep it. Smith fading away, and he'll get the friendly roll. Smith now moves on to 9. It's been a good third quarter this from the Rockets. Fryer. Harvey. Thompson under the basket. Thompson can't get it to fall, but he'll get 2 trips at the line. Foul will be on Barker. That'll be his third. He was looking for the block, but swiped the wrist of Bradley Thompson, so he'll go to the stripe. 6:44 to play here in the third period, and official David Kingston just going over to have a chat with our table officials. Great to see some Sheffield Steeler fans here in attendance as well. It's a good crowd inside at Loddon Valley. Around about 100 people here today, most of whom decked out in Christmas jumpers and Santa hats. There's a few of them, including a few of our younger generation as well. As Thompson makes the first. Bradley Thompson makes the second. He now moves on to double digits, 10 points off the bench for the youngster. Again, the pass now. That'll stay a Reading ball. It almost went into the hands of Sheffield there with that pass. It was deflected and nearly came off Smith's hands, but he got his hand out of the way in the nick of time. Smith, shot clock in single figures. Tobin gets it. Under pressure there from Matt Wilson and Lee Fryer, but connected from 7 feet. Here is Harvey. Lobs it to Fryer on the other side. Marked by Martin. Here is Harvey. Harvey under the hoop. Good defense from Barker. Putting Harvey off, and he gets the rebound. And now Reece Barker off. Here is Tobin. Tobin ball deflected. That will go to Sheffield. It came off Tobin last. Good hands from Kamari Parker. "15 turnovers now in this game for the Rockets." Here is Fryer. And the ball deflected by Barker, and now Sheffield will keep it. Shot clock at 11. And Sheffield have done very well in the last 2 minutes or so to not commit a foul and get into team fouls. Fryer. Harvey. Harvey puts it up, knocks it down. Tom Harvey, 27 points, 9 assists against Manchester a couple of weeks ago. Had a great performance as well against the Aces yesterday. As there'll be a large group substitution for the Steelers coming in just a moment. Here is Todd Travers. Reece Barker under great pressure from Fryer, collects it. Smith fading away, no good. And it's rebounded by Fryer. 7 rebounds now for Lee Fryer to go with 27. Incredibly, still has not scored in this third period. Wilson, wide open, short, rebounded by Smith. Smith still has it. Looking for Barker, that'll go out of bounds, and that will be a Sheffield possession. And Grant Barker has called a timeout with 4:33 to play in this third period. 57-36 in favor of the visiting Sheffield Steelers. Lee Fryer currently on 27 points as we look at some of the highlights of what has been a solid third period for the Reading Rockets. Sheffield, though, keeping their side of the scoreboard ticking. Reading have been a little more on the urgency side here in this third period, and it's been great to see. It's been much enjoyed by the fans, but they still trail. Jess White, who comes into the game for the Steelers, as does Will Bonner. Had a great first period, but hasn't been seen since. He's now back onto the court. Ben Trigler-Polton, Jade Loughlin into the game for the Rockets. And Fryer fouled, I believe, by Trigler-Polton. And that'll be his second foul. The Rockets 83. Fryer. Bullet pass intended for Bonner, straight to Barker. What can Reading conjure up on this offense? Barker still has it. Shot clock now at 9. Smith, in and out. Trigler-Polton did well to collect that, but it couldn't hang on. And now Sheffield have an extra advantage here. Trigler-Polton on the floor. Harvey inside, Harvey off the glass. And Trigger-Polton helped up, and Rockets can reset. Barker. It's 3-on-2 here for a moment, but Harvey gets the steal. It was a woeful pass from Barker. Now Tom Tobin on the floor. Here is Fryer. Fryer has a bit of space. Can't get it to fall. Jade Lachlan the rebound. Did well to collect that rebound, did Jade Lachlan, over Will Bonner. As Tom Tobin will be helped up. 3:29 to play in the third period. We are expecting a near sellout today between the Reading Rockets and the Bristol Hurricanes, coming up at 4:30 today. Tobin, Barker, ball is loose, Fryer collects. Here is Harvey. Harvey now breaks free of the pack, and Harvey scores. Broke clear, and you can see here Tom Tobin and Daniel Smith too late to challenge. 13 points now for Tom Harvey. Barker a three, banks it home. Reading's first three-pointer of the contest. Reece Barker with a big three. Here is Fryer. Fryer and a foul. And that'll be on Reece Barker. That'll be 4 fouls on him. Two fouls picked up in quick succession for Reece Barker. We were saying earlier in the third period that it's imperative that he stays out of foul trouble, but 2 quick fouls for him. And the Rockets' danger man now in foul trouble. 15 points, 8 boards, and 6 assists for Reece Barker in this contest. As Fryer connects on the resulting free throw. Tobin. Nearly had it stolen by Fryer. Has got to stay in the timeline. Does. Here is Smith, who's had a cracking game for the Rockets so far today. Trigger-Polton has it stolen away by Travers. Fryer, it's 2-on-1. Harvey. Harvey inside. Harvey can't get it to fall. Barker can't get it off Harvey. Harvey from the foul line, money. Final 2 minutes of the third, and now Sheffield, after a slow start to this period, now flexing the muscles. And a foul called on Will Bonner, colliding into Daniel Smith. Daniel Smith, 9 points, 6 rebounds in this game. Here is Barker. Barker looking to create and had it stolen by Harvey, reclaimed by Matt Travers, and now Matt Travers all alone. Here is Barker. Tobin. Tobin, lovely bounce pass to Lachlan. Tobin gets it back. Smith, White for company. And Jess White stripped it off Dan Smith, but it goes out of bounds. Reading will keep it. 3.4 on the clock, though. 1:08 to play. Tobin, this will have to be a heave. He puts it up. And it smacks the bottom of the backboard, and away come the Steelers. Will Bonner doesn't get that to go. Fryer on the follow. .32 now for Lee Fryer. 7 rebounds and 6 assists to his stat line. Smith. Trigler-Polton. Trigler-Polton has a little bit of room, puts it up, doesn't get it to fall though. Sheffield out rebounding the Rockets by 2 as Will Bonner connects inside. Final seconds now of the third period, and a strong finish from the Yorkshire outfit. Barker will not attempt a shot, and that'll do it for the third period. Going into quarter number 4, the Steelers commanding at 72-39 ahead. Lee Fryer with 30. Lee Fryer with 32. Reece Barker has 15 points, 6 assists, and 8 rebounds. And after a strong start to this third period, where at first the Rockets were outscoring Sheffield, Sheffield have responded emphatically, and they lead 72-39 on the back of a 25-11 third period. As we look at some of the highlights of what has been a great game thus far, but Sheffield in pole position here in this BWB Premier Division matchup. Of course, for Reading, they will travel to the northwest to play Manchester in the new year. Their next home game isn't until February, when they take on the London Titans. Of course, for all of the Reading Rockets news, behind the scenes footage, check out their socials at Rockets WBC. Well, fourth and final quarter incoming. And a chance for Reading to finish strong and really put a dent in this scoreline. Here is May. May's pass finds no one but Travers. Here is Harvey. Here is Fryer. Back to Harvey. Fast-paced, devastating and breathtaking all at the same time. Here is Barker. Smith took a hard tumble on the floor. Play is stopped. And Daniel Smith looks to be okay, but he landed awkwardly in a collision away from the ball. As Todd Travers will come into the game for the Rockets. Reece Barker heads to the bench. Here is Fryer, early doors in the fourth. Fryer, Bonner, touch pass inside. Travers off the window. Of course, these players know each other exceptionally well. Sheffield retaining the main core of their team from last season. And the ball deflected, and Jess White picks up the loose ball. Bullet pass from Fryer. And a whistle has gone before Harvey could get the score. A foul, I think, has been called on Daniel Smith. That'll be his fourth foul of the contest. And a timeout has been called by, I believe, by the Steelers, with 8:58 to play. So 1 minute and 2 seconds played of the fourth and final quarter. Reece Barker with 15 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal to his name. Reading shooting 39% from the field, which has dropped from halftime. They were 45% at the half. And Sheffield's field goal percentage has stayed at 62% as of now. It did rise to 66% in the final minutes of the third period, but has dropped slightly. As we restart play. Here is Harvey. Harvey has a little bit of space, puts up the midi, and Trigger Polton with the rebound, wrestling with it with Harvey and Jess White and Matt Travers as well. But Ben Trigger Polton, that London pride, of course, a former London Titans player, keeping the ball to himself. Reading have it. Here it is Smith. Tom Tobin was in a good position there, but Harvey came to meet him. Smith still has it. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Smith banks it home. Smith now in double figures. He has 11. Harvey looking for the cutter, looking for the trailer. Bonner under the basket. Bonner throws it up and in. Here is May. May looking for help. Here is Travers. They've got to get it over the timeline here, which they do. Trigger Polton collects it. He's wide open. The floater, no, back irons it. Didn't get the ball in the right position there. Did well to collect it, though. Harvey dumps it off to Bonner. Bonner fluffs his lines. Tobin. May. And May will slow it down and reset. Shot clock at 7. Smith. They're in no man's land here, Reading. They've got to get something off. Trigger Polton. Got to put the shot up. And that is off. And that'll be a shot clock violation. So Sheffield will get the ball back. But Sheffield have called a timeout with 7:13 to play in this one. And commanding position, up 78-41. Some of the highlights here is Reece Barker drilling a 3 off the window, but Sheffield, especially in the second half, getting the business done under the basket, getting some quick scores and keeping their side of the scoreboard ticking. They've led from start to finish so far. Biggest lead of the game has been 37 points. Of course, Sheffield doing this without one of their key duos as well. Of course, Lee Fryer is playing, but George Bates is not. George Bates, the assistant coach of the Netherlands women's team, who won the IWBF European gold medal in Sarajevo this past October. Wilson. Wilson has a bit of room, but airballs his shot. Smith. Beautiful pass, Trigger Polton, that's a bit better, but can't get the finish. Trigler-Bolton now 1 of 6 from the field. As Travers still has the ball, he'll go it alone and score and 1. Luke Holland into the game for the first time, was in great position, cutting back door, but then came out again as Travers was driving to the hoop. And he'll go to the line for a bonus and a chance for Sheffield to really extend their lead even further, which he does. Travers now on 14 points. And Lee Fryer has a game-high 32. 27 of those were in the first half. He's cooled down a little bit, but Sheffield have used other offensive components to get their points as Tobin back irons his mid-range. Wilson. 4 minutes played in the fourth. Thompson connects. He's certainly been one of those offensive juggernauts today for the Steelers. Thompson has 12 on 5 of 8 shooting here today. Sheffield is a team shooting 61% from the floor. Smith can't connect. Trigler-Bolton nearly stole it off Luke Holland, but here comes the Steelers with Travers. Thompson, catch and shoot, short. Ball is loose. It's rebounded by Smith. Reading have done very well to keep the second chance points down in this second half. Sheffield have only scored 4 points in second chance opportunities in this third and fourth quarter, after scoring 8 in the first half. Trigler-Bolton. There's a bit of room, but decided not to use it. Tobin was going to line one up, now lines one up, but airballs it. And a travelling violation called against Holland, so Reading will get the ball back. 10th turnover of this contest from the Steelers. Tobin, ball is loose, and Smith collects it and just about keeps himself in the timeline. 5 to shoot. Tobin, the mid-range. Looked to go glass, but couldn't connect. Trigler-Bolton again nearly stealing it, this time off Wilson, but Wilson was aware. Travers, full burst of speed. From 6 feet, no good. Holland there to get the offensive board. He can't connect either. Tobin with the rebound. Well, Reading are getting some stops. Just need to convert them into some points. May to Smith, 6 to shoot. Smith can't connect. Tobin under the basket, and he'll go to the line. Tom Tobin will get his first trip to the line here today. Has 6 points and 6 assists. Very businessman-like performance from him, as Ella Archer comes into the game for the first time for the Rockets, as does a returning Reece Barker. Ben Trigler-Bolton and Todd Travers come out. Ella Archer, a former GB under-25 international, as Tobin misses the first. And Tobin gets the second. Such an integral part of this Rockets team, Agent Zero of the Rockets, Tom Tobin. Versatile playmaker and a good mid-range shooter as well, especially when in rhythm. Wilson, along with his three-point attempt. Here is Barker. 3:56 to play in this one. Barker to May. May cutting along the baseline, sees a bit of daylight, but the birthday boy can't get it to fall. Travers, lovely pass inside, and the score from Parker. Kamari Parker with his second field goal. Actually 2 for 2 from the field today, off the bench, the number 25. And Travers with the steal. He's everywhere right now, is Matt Travers. Reese Barker trying to keep up. Travers goes up, doesn't get it to fall. Ball is loose. It's rebounded by May. Reese Barker doing just enough to put off Matt Travers, and an 8-second violation is the call. Second one of the game, and a near half-court three attempted mainly out of frustration from Dan Smith. Goes in, but of course that won't count. As the Reading Rockets BCB side now wait in the wings, they will be up against the Bristol Hurricanes on the BCB YouTube channel. Following this contest, Wilson in space, but not in rhythm. Barker right down the main street here, goes to the elbow for the shot, grazes the rim. Reading now, field goal percentage down to 32%. And the finish inside from Travers. He has 16 points on 7 for 10 shooting, a very solid performance from Travers here for the Steelers. Here is May. Thompson for company. Reese Barker did well to collect that, but a foul or a whistle has gone before. And a foul has been called on Matt Travers. Under the basket before Reese Barker could collect. That's his third foul. And the Steelers over the limit, so they'll get free throws next foul out from the Reading Rockets. But for now, in fact, they have one team foul remaining. Do the Steelers. And the ball goes out of bounds, and the Rockets will reclaim. 87-42, 2:03 remaining in this one. Sheffield have led from start to, well, sort of finish right now, as three is launched and banked home. Second three of the contest. Dan Smith this time, the beneficiary. Thompson. And Sheffield really now kind of just running out the clock, as the shot is missed from Parker, and a successful business trip down south for the Steelers completed. A win against the Aces yesterday. Tobin a three, and Tom Tobin gets it to go. Back-to-back triples for the Rockets. Now looking to pump the numbers up with less than 90 seconds on the clock. Thompson from the top. That's off the back iron, and that goes out of bounds. It will go to the Rockets. It last came off Travers. Smith. Tobin. Finds May. May gets it to fall. A birthday field goal for Daniel May. A beautiful up and under. As we enter the final minute, it is a 37-point advantage for the Steelers. They will get the win, but a good finish to this game from the Rockets, as Travers has been in energy mode all game long, the Energizer Bunny of this Sheffield Steelers team. Barker will launch a three. Well, they're just all going for it now, aren't they? Wilson. Holland. Holland with one hand, no good. Smith rebounds. And that'll be Dan Smith's double-double as well with that rebound. 14 points, 10 rebounds in this game for him. Reece Barker also has a double-double. Earlier on, he got his 10th rebound. And that'll do it. Sheffield Steelers will get the win. Competitive contest, competitive performance though from the Aldermore Reading Rockets. But they will drop to 0-6. And the Steelers move to 8-0 in the BWB Premier Division. Reece Barker, 15 points, 11 rebounds and 8 assists. Dan Smith with 14 points and 10 rebounds. Leading the way though for the Steelers, Lee Fryer, an exemplary performance, 32 points, 27 of those coming in the first half when he only missed 3 shots out of 16 attempts in the first 20 minutes. He finished with 32 points, 9 assists. Tom Harvey had a double-double, 17 points and 11 assists. Matt Travers with 18. A convincing win from the Sheffield Steelers, but a spirited performance from the Aldermore Reading Rockets. It's finished here. Aldermore Reading Rockets 50, Sheffield Steelers 89. If we move over to the British Championship Basketball YouTube channel, up next, it is the Aldermore Reading Rockets against the Bristol Hurricanes. From me, John Hobbs. Goodbye for now.